We are ready and we are go live. Firstly, I suppose the sound is okay and the video is okay as well. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to see you again. Thank you for joining us today. And today we go live with an amazing speakers. And here today, Alexander Zheltov, founder and CEO of Educate Online, Stewart, Managing Director, BlueBridge Education Group, Jess Teichman, Strategy and Innovation, BlueBridge Education Group, and me. I'm Anastasia Fedorova, the International Sales Manager at Educate Online. So, guys, how are you doing?
Awesome. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Anastasia.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. Could you please shortly introduce yourself?
Maybe we can start with myself and then we'll pass over to our dear colleagues from BlueBridge. My name is Alexander Zheltov. Alex, you can call me that as well. I'm the CEO and co-founder of our international company, Educate Online, headquartered in the United States of America. Now I'm 30 years old. Probably from the age of 10, I was studying at UK boarding schools, at first for the summer programs. And then I was doing full-time studies in Gwyneth Burgess College in Thompson School International. Then I graduated and got into London School of Economics and Bayes Business School in London. And there I graduated from management with a management degree. And now I'm leading our international company that allows students worldwide to gain access to the best curriculum, to the best teachers, to the best studies. And we're called Educate Online, and I'll be super happy to tell you more about our partnership with BlueBridge during this live stream today.
Thank you very much, Alex, for joining us today, tell information about yourself. And I would like to introduce the topic of today's meeting. And after that, I pass the microphone to Jess and Stewart to tell more about the programs. So today we are going to tell about our partnership with BlueBridge and share with you what programs we offer together. So Jess and Stewart, could you please continue and tell us more about BlueBridge programs?
And of course, introduce yourselves, guys, because you have a great story to tell, both of you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. My name's Stewart Heru, co-founder of BlueBridge Education. BlueBridge sort of evolved out of a coffee club with a fellow co-founder sitting in Cambridge. And we, my background is I'd originally come from New Zealand via Japan playing professional rugby, and then came to do my master's at Cambridge University in social political science. And I then went into London, was a failed banker around the time of Lehman Brothers collapse, and then came back to Cambridge and went into education thinking it was a much more stable and enjoyable environment. And as I said, we co-founded the business wanting to provide authentic experiences at the University of Cambridge. And we've been doing this for nearly 12 years and been a lot of fun, which is pretty key to it. And we've met hundreds, if not thousands, of students now during this process. And we've started off originally in Japan with doing global leadership programs alongside English language programs and development. And more recently, we've started to really go through, particularly with the COVID and the move of education online, developing our programs, particularly around digital transformation, moving into artificial intelligence, and a really wide, diverse range of subject areas. So it's every day is different and really exciting. And today we're going to talk more about particularly what Jess is working with me on at the moment. And it's really exciting, the sort of entrepreneurial business strategy type programs that we have to offer. Jess, you want to?
Yeah, great. So I'm Jess. I'm one of the lecturers at BlueBridge Education. I completed both of my degrees at Cambridge. So I've got a bachelor's degree in French and Spanish. And then more recently, I completed my master's degree in social innovation at the Judge Business School. Over the course of my career, I've worked on major strategy, innovation and digital transformation projects with a broad range of organisations from HSBC and Visa to UNICEF, to Domino's, and lots of different industries and companies in between. And I get really excited about teaching innovation, entrepreneurship, all the creative and technical skills that go with that to the students who come through our programs.
Does this mean, Jess, that if the students, once, of course, you're going to describe the programs right today, does this mean that the students might have a chance to interact with you during the programs?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome.
Absolutely. So I'm the lead lecturer on our innovation and entrepreneurship programs. I'm very hands-on. That's the stuff I get excited about, is actually, seeing people get their heads around it, get excited about developing new ideas and developing the skills to bring those ideas to life.
Wow. I think that's the skills part is really, when I studied at uni in London, I forgot, I should say this honestly, I forgot a lot of the stuff that we were taught as curriculum, but the skills like pitching or brainstorming ideas, finding the problems, finding solutions, that's really, really key. And the skills will stay with the students forever. Before we jump onto the programs, I just wanted to congratulate Educate Online and BlueBridge with this partnership, and to congratulate all of our students, agents, parents, and partners worldwide, because why we've made this partnership and why we've basically signed this deal. The reason is that Cambridge University is, we can say, the world's leading university. And right now we've seen that the innovations that are happening thanks to you, Jess, and thanks to Stewart, and thanks to your peers and colleagues at Cambridge are just awesome, both in the science and AI field, as well as in business, strategy, leadership fields. And we just thought, okay, there's on-site programs that BlueBridge does at Cambridge. These programs are super exclusive. Why don't we together bring these programs online to all the corners of the world, to India, to Brazil, to Nigeria, to Vietnam, and many other countries? And thanks to your efforts and thanks to the efforts of our team, this partnership came to life, and we'll be joining a lot of the students. I'm sure I'll be present and I'll listen to some part of the lectures, and I'll just try to participate as much as possible once we start the courses in the fall. So today, our dear colleagues, Stewart and Jess, will talk about the programs, what is available. We'll focus a lot on the online stuff that will be exclusive to Educate Online and BlueBridge at the moment worldwide. And then, of course, we can touch upon the on-site programs, because these are amazing. I've been to a lot of the programs at UCLA, for example, in the US and in the UK. And the on-site programs, nothing can beat that. At the same time, the online programs provide us so much flexibility in terms of when you do them, in terms of access, in terms of having no flights needed. I'm broadcasting today from Italy, and I assume you guys are in the UK, for example. So that's what online gives us. It's all about accessibility and flexibility as well. So over to you guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Would love to hear more about the programs during this live stream. And then we'll have some questions that Anastasia will ask us. And we might also have some questions from the audience. And thank you so much to everyone who's joined us today. We're excited to have you with us.
What a great team gathered today. It's amazing. So thank you very much for joining us, Jess, Serge, and Alex. I suppose we can start with your presentation.
Yeah. Cool. There it is.
Okay, so I guess the question you want to say is why Cambridge? It's sort of the word itself speaks for itself. Like Cambridge, obviously a world-class institution, meeting of a very international, diverse community, but it's also a place of extreme innovation, and this has been going on for hundreds of years. And right here, right now, it's particularly in the technology space, Cambridge innovation is rapidly gaining momentum. It's now known as Silicon Fen, sort of taken away from Silicon Valley, and it's a huge area of expansion. Now, just to give you an example, over the next 10 years, they expect Cambridge's population to double. And this is a lot of inbound international executives are moving into the science parks, which are rapidly expanding as well. So Cambridge is in a huge movement of change, and it's pretty exciting because there's a lot of linkage between the academic side of Cambridge, but also the corporate side, and linking those two together, we have been able to have the opportunity to develop some really interesting online content, and we plan to do lots more going forward, which Jess will explain more about. What's our unique selling point of BlueBridge is, we're all Cambridge graduates. All our staff, this summer in Cambridge, we'll have over 40 Cambridge students working for us on our residential programs. We have a lot of access because of our relationships with colleges where we run the international programs for Homerton College and St Edmunds College. We have a lot of access to, obviously, PhD students, postdoctorate researchers, and academic lecturers and professors from a wide variety of subject areas. So going back to our original ethos of setting up a program or programs where we wanted students to have an authentic experience, being able to access a lot of the great people that are studying and researching here in Cambridge. We are pretty unusual in the sense that we have a lot of relationships with the student societies and clubs in particular, either through sponsorship or students that have worked on our programs as residential advisors or lecturers. And because we're based here in Cambridge, eat, sleep and breathe it every day, and we're very entrenched in the community. And obviously the co-founders, we played rugby for the university, so the University Rugby Club has a lot of links and networks throughout the university. So a couple of the major ones we have is obviously the University Rugby Club, but also CUTEC, the Cambridge University Technology and Enterprise Club, which is one of the biggest clubs and societies in Cambridge University. Has students from a very wide diverse range of subject areas. They could be business, could be engineering, computer science, all the way into various humanities subjects. So it's a very interesting network of societies that we are plugged into, and it's a two-way thing. We support them either through our networks and helping them run events, maybe providing some sponsorship, and likewise they'll introduce students into our programs and lectures. So it's a really nice balance how we work and coexist together in Cambridge. I mean, a lot of this stuff here is linked to the residential programs, but I guess in terms of online education, what we're trying to do is bring this world-class education and the different layers of teaching and learning in Cambridge, down to the supervision level where we have these small group sessions. We try to replicate this also online. So I guess it's something that's quite special to Oxbridge Education, is that we try to keep our numbers relatively small in discussion groups, whilst balancing wider seminars and lecture-based types of environments as well. Culturally, Cambridge, as I said, is extremely diverse, and we often have linkage between Oxford as well and a lot of the London universities, because there's quite a lot of movement of students either at an undergraduate or a postgraduate level. They will can move between these universities and even particularly in America, the Ivy Leagues as well. So as we say here, we have a wide variety of programs. We started originally with the Homerton College, developing a global leadership program that focused on cultural understanding in English. And this was came about through relationships we had with Japanese universities who wanted to send students to focus on cultural understanding and developing their English language skills, particularly around presentations. And this program has been running for 7 years now, and we have probably over 25 different universities that we have in memorandum of understanding with institution to institution. Some of these programs are also credit bearing. So we work with the home universities to make sure that our curriculum meets their standards and that enables the students that are coming on the programs to pick up maybe 1 or 2 credits towards their degrees in the summer. We have started to do this also online in a wide variety of different delivery structures, either in a block of, say, 1 or 2 weeks back to back, or over a weekly cycle that can happen over 2 or 3 months. So it's very flexible, and we can customize it to the requests of universities and other institutions that require this. You can see there, that's the certificate that comes with our programs. We've got different, with the global leadership and cultural understanding, it's quite a multidisciplinary program where we try to blend sort of the best of everything that Cambridge really has to offer, and alongside developing English language skills. The programs also require the students that they will do presentations online, so they have to develop presentations around a subject area that we give them. Maybe we may give them a question, say, do you believe that climate change is a priority for governments? And then students will have to develop an argument and a presentation around that, which they will be assessed on. So we can work in a very flexible manner, but at the same time ensuring that there's academic rigor, makes the program, gives the students a feel for what it would be like to be studying in Cambridge. Our most recent development and hotly sort of requested one is artificial intelligence. With St Edmunds College, we have some very well-known academics and students who are studying more applied artificial intelligence. So this is quite interesting from the respect of the news recently about sort of the ethics around artificial intelligence. So the programs that we're getting a lot of requests from and demand is regarding responsible AI and ethics. So how we use artificial intelligence responsibly. Also discussing around the regulatory frameworks in different areas of the world, different jurisdictions, and how artificial intelligence is being monitored and regulated. And the idea is that we introduce students to topics that are going to be really the future sort of discussion areas of artificial intelligence, giving them an opportunity to sort of understand how artificial intelligence, the ecosystem within Cambridge and the science parks, but also more sort of the applied side of AI and what the opportunities are for using artificial intelligence in the future. With St Edmunds College, because it's got a lot of academics from science, technology, and engineering, we also run a program that can be tailored to online delivery, and it can be from a very wide range of science and technology areas. So we have programs that could ranging in. So this summer we're doing a program on material science for a textiles university that wants to learn more about the textiles industries and the manufacturing and all the technology that's being developed around material science. We've also done programs in some biochemistry and engineering applications as well. So We tend to develop and customize programs where we can around the STEM subject areas. Again, here's some programs that we've run previously. The engineering applications through to nanotechnology. Some of these things can be extremely niche, but if Cambridge has it, we tend to be able to develop programs because people who are researching these areas are extremely passionate and knowledgeable about their area. So it's very easy to get people to teach and lecture about their subject areas. Okay, I'll hand over to Jess. This is her sort of her area of expertise.
So yeah, the last range of courses we'll talk about are our entrepreneurship boot camps. So the purpose of these is to help young people develop the skills, as I mentioned before, kind of creative, technical and business skills that they would need to start, grow and scale their own ventures. We run this in a range of different formats, different durations, but the key things here, let me just scroll forward the slide, are about getting students really hands-on into the learning. So we cover topics such as design thinking, which is kind of about the creative side of developing business ideas. So we will have our students doing their own customer research, using different techniques to generate new ideas based around the insights that they've learned from customers, doing their own hands-on prototyping, so creating kind of models and working versions of their ideas and being able to test those with sort of real people, as well as weaving in a bit more of the business side of it. So working with the business model canvas as a key framework, but also talking about kind of strategy, different strategic approaches to shape not just what is the concept, the product they could be offering, but what is the whole business that wraps around that. As part of that, we also get a bit into finances. How do you cost and revenue? How do you model, cost and revenue? And what are the kinds of things investors are looking for? And culminating with the opportunity to create a pitch around the business idea and pitch that to a live audience. So I think what makes it different really is it is quite hands-on. Even in a virtual environment, it's very interactive, and there's a lot of teamwork involved. So really giving our students the opportunity to get creative, bring their own ideas to light, and quite practical at the end of the day. So not just kind of lecturing about the skills, but actually the chance to put those to use with kind of pitches to founders who know what businesses look like, to investors who know what great business ideas look like. And of course, they also get a certificate as part of that. So as Stewart's mentioned, we partner with Cambridge University Technology and Enterprise Club in running this programme. I think that's the end of our presentation. Shall I hand the screen back to you, Anastasia?
Yeah, thank you very much for such a wonderful presentation. It took my breath away. I think it will be an invaluable experience for students. There are so many fantastic programs and opportunities available to students that can significantly improve a student's portfolio when attending universities. Can you share with us some success stories from young people who have attended BlueBridge programs?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, we've had a lot of interesting students who have been on the programs, and I'll take some examples that what programs can tend to do is that students may not necessarily have the aspiration of going to Cambridge, but they want to stretch themselves and further enrich the subject areas that they're currently studying. So we might get a lot of undergraduate students who are thinking about studying in the UK, but so they come on a summer school or an online program to sort of test the water of what it would be like to interact with British academics or UK-based academics. And then we've had a lot of interesting characters who have been on our programs and then moved on and taken the confidence, I guess, to go on and study at a higher level in the UK, whether that's doing distance learning or a lot of them will tend to come back and join into universities, other Russell Group universities, and do master's programs. We've even had a student that's now gone to do a master's program in Manchester and now then wants to come back and do a PhD in aeronautical dynamics or some sort of flow dynamics. So yeah, it can act as a sort of a platform for developing confidence to stretch themselves and also maybe think about sort of postgraduate study. Other students we had a student who had graduated in law, and that was applying for jobs in the Magic Circle law firms in London, and came on a diplomatic protocol and diplomacy program, and it became a subject area for interviews at a magic law firm, and he'd spent an hour talking purely about the program that he'd done in Cambridge. So it's the programs can benefit students in a variety of different ways, whether that's with their continuing with their education or with potential career opportunities.
Wow, that's awesome, and thank you so much, guys, for the presentation. I just want to summarize a little bit so our audience of parents, students, and agents, and people just watching us today can understand. In terms of the online offering, as I understand, we have two main programs. One is for high school students, and then the other one is for early university students or university students. So can we just summarize what are the main points, let's say selling points of the program for high school students, and what are the main selling points of the program for university students? And as the next step, we don't have exact start dates as of yet when we're going to start them online, but it will be in the fall, so somewhere around September. Given the fact that we're recording this and we're doing this live on the 4th of July, hi United States, happy Independence Day. So basically, we still have around 2 months to make sure that we have good numbers of students coming to these programs. And I'm sure there'll be lots of demand because these are very exclusive Cambridge University plus BlueBridge plus Educate online programs that we're going to launch.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, I think in terms of, if we're talking about high school students, what are the benefits of participating in these programs? And I think it's what we've seen over the years is that students often come on these programs with a strong influence from mum and dad, and they often are sort of directed towards a certain subject pathway. What these programs can do is it can often rattle up the sort of the pathway structure in terms of, for example, I'll give you that we've had students who've been very focused on engineering, and what we've had a lecturer come in and say, actually, I started in engineering, but then shifted into computer science because I learned to code at Cambridge, and from coding I've moved into artificial intelligence, machine learning. And so the programs can be quite good for careers in terms of the thinking of pathways into university and the opportunities there are in the future, using students and PhDs and postdocs who have recently been through that process and get some really interesting information and guidance, I guess, is what can be most useful for high school students. Is they often have information that they've been provided, but sometimes that information is not in real time with what's happening within the university education system. So in terms of high school students, that's been the most helpful, I think, in terms of the feedback we get from parents and students themselves, that they've come away with thinking with different ideas about how they could pursue their careers. With university students, a lot of it can be help enrich and develop maybe the next stage of their university careers, where they want the subject areas. A lot of students will often, their first 2 years at university could be quite diverse and wide, quite broad subject areas, but these programs can help to sort of focus students for the next stage if they're thinking about potential master's programs, and talk to people who are actually doing them at the moment. And again, it's a lot of it information, advice, and knowledge that's shared. And I guess with the online platform, it's you can obviously have the two-way conversations through chat, and a lot of students find they gather a lot of knowledge during these sessions, and even after the programs are finished, a lot of them will tend to will give out their contacts, so they then forge professional contacts with people on the program. So it's in terms of that networking and building up some contacts in the various subject areas can be very useful for university students as well.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to these programs. That'll be fun. All right, Anastasia, do we have some other questions? Maybe you have some other questions, or our audience at this moment?
I also agree with you. I suppose so. These programs provide students with unparalleled access to world-class education, and it also cultivates a lifelong life of learning and equips students to have a positive impact not only on their community but also on the world. And Alexander, you have already shared with us that you have an experience of studying in the UK. So can you tell us how it affected you and what benefits it gave to you?
I mean, you can't really. So many benefits, so you can't really compare. I don't know what my life would look like if I didn't study in the UK. First of all, probably would be it would have been different. So one of the big things is the ability to have access, and Jess has told about this today, and Stewart has told about this today. Access to entrepreneurs, access to investors, access to everyone, and the good thing is that the UK largely as a positive thinking economy, which means that if you have a good idea, you can open a lot of doors, and especially if you study in Cambridge, I'm sure you'll have a lot of opportunities to open doors. And that's what I've seen, because I was texting either through Twitter back at the time or emailing entrepreneurs, and they were responding to me. And I was thinking, like, wow, that's cool. I can actually go and meet these guys. I can ask them questions. And that helped me to shape myself as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and as a manager as well. Talking about positive thinking, so to say, and positive reinforcement, what I found in the
Is it
UK.
okay? Okay.
Sorry, do you hear me? Is it
Yeah.
all good? Oh, awesome. So another thing is that I see that the professors at the university or the teachers at school, they actually they say, all right, if you don't understand this topic, I'll help you understand it. We're going to grasp it together. It's going to be all good. Whereas in some, let's say, emerging countries right now, there might be a tendency just to make sure that the students memorize something, and it's not going to work. So all the stuff which I've learned, let's say, about physics, I have zero knowledge about it. But it's not only about memorization, right? It's about building the skill, understanding. And I have a great example. I was studying at a music school for, I think, 5 years, and I didn't understand the music theory at all. And then 1 week before the exam, I understood the whole music theory very well, because the way I understood it was not by memorizing things, but actually by building the connections in my head. And that's what has happened when I studied economics or business or maths or science in the UK as well. I studied biology. Physics I have no idea, but biology I have a good sense of knowledge right now. And the other thing, of course, is the vibrant community of students. And I think right now, whether you're joining the programs online or offline, you'll meet lots of people who will have the same dreams and goals. And now I'm 30 years old, so I graduated from university probably like 8 years ago. And I see that a lot of my fellow um, just classmates are building startups. They're raising Series B, Series C, Series D. They're valuing their companies at over $1 billion, some of them. And you just remember they were just, like you, like little kids, aspiring kids, and now they're building such great things. And this is just awesome, because it gives the students this international exposure, but also you'll meet lots of cool people. And if you think that everyone who's building unicorn companies or working in the AI field or science field, if you think that they're geniuses, probably they're trained geniuses, which means that they've had the level of training and education right to get there. So the programs that BlueBridge provides, I think it's a combination of things. You're going to meet cool students, you're going to meet amazing teachers, professors, people from the field of work that you're going to dive into. And of course, you're also going to get lots of skills. So it's a no-brainer. And if I was a student that was now in high school and university, I would sign up for sure for such a program.
So regarding your experience, Alexander, and the experience of students, of course, we can see that in the modern world, everything changed so quickly. So I would like to ask one more question, important question. What do you think about the future of education? What programs are growing in popularity and why they are growing?
Yeah, we'll send this question over to Stewart and Jess, since they're the educators in this conversation.
I mean, I'll quickly jump in before Jess does, but I think, since COVID, there's clearly been a real shift in focus on education, particularly for university students, to acquire transferable skills, and transferable skills meaning that you can have a toolkit, really, a toolkit of transferable skills that you can apply to different industry sectors. And we've seen that obviously having digital skills is really important. So I would say that a lot of the programs going forward are focused on sort of practical application of digital skills, learning more about sort of the opportunities with certain subject areas, particularly computer science. So I'd say that a lot of our programs will develop alongside industry, bringing the academic component to apply that into an industry context. So that's where I think that where most of the future of these online programs is going to be things that are going to be where students can take the skills and the knowledge and start to think about their future careers. And notably with what Jess is doing with us, we're actually building an incubator at the moment in Cambridge, working alongside the Social Innovation Centre at the Judge Business School, which is that's really cutting edge stuff, and I think that's one of the areas we're really passionate about to get involved with. It's getting involved with startups that are looking to make an impact in the world, whether that's a social impact or a climate change impact. So that's really exciting for us, because that's something that we see there's real benefits for in what we do.
Yeah, building on that, I think, there's a huge growth in demand from employers, but also interest from young people in innovation and entrepreneurship. So even in, some of the major companies that I've worked with and for, this ability to be able to create new things, but also, really execute on them, deliver them, is so kind of important in so many career paths. But also, if you look at where young people's interests lie, I've done research with children 8 years old who they want to be entrepreneurs. They want to start their own businesses, right? You talk to teenagers, that's what they're reading in the news. Those are kind of the cool careers to have. So I think it's a really great moment to bring together both a kind of demand for the skills in the corporate sector, an interest in it from young people, and then combining that with what Stewart's already mentioned in terms of transferable skills and knowledge that you can apply. Everything we're doing around kind of innovation, entrepreneurship, as well as kind of the AI and STEM stuff really fits into that space.
So your answers were so informative, and I suppose it will help many students achieve their dreams. And to be perfectly honest, that's all from my side, and that's all my questions for you. And I would like to tell you thank you very much for your answers. But we have a great option during this live. Viewers can leave their questions in a special box below. So let's look at them and try to answer. 1 minute, please. Can you see questions?
No.
Is it the comments on the side?
One student was interested in English courses, and he would like to improve his level of English. What do you think? What type of programs we can offer for him?
We have professional development programs that are customized usually for corporate groups, but we have also enabled cohorts of students to be able to attend these programs. We haven't done a specific communications program before, although the diplomatic protocol program we did focus on communications for diplomats and delegations coming for political conventions and events. And we had some former ambassadors who came on the program to talk about their experiences and sort of how they go about with their teams planning diplomatic delegation visits to different countries. And that had a focus really on the types of language to avoid an international conflict. That's pretty high level communications. But in terms of a more general communications pro, we don't have that at the moment. But never say never. We get lots of inquiries for lots of different things. So once we have it developed, we always have the knowledge and the know-how to deliver. So watch this space.
Thank you for your answer. But unfortunately, the stream system doesn't immediately allow us to see all messages. So the audience, don't worry. We will definitely look at your questions after the live stream and give you answers to all your questions in written form. Dear Alexander, Stewart, and Chess, it was great meeting you today. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing such invaluable information, talk about wonderful educational programs and helped our students to be one step closer to their dreams. Dear viewers, thank you all for listening us today. It was a pleasure being here today with you. And I would like to remind you that if you have any questions, make sure you drop a message below, and we will be happy to answer all your questions after our meeting.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much to Stewart, to Jess, and to Anastasia. It's lovely to work with you and our team and your team. I'm sure we'll do lots of good. Can I please ask Anastasia to switch to the next slide in the presentation? Because here we have special admissions email. If you're interested, I saw some of the students are interested in discussing these programs further. Of course, one thing is we'll definitely get in touch with you, but if you want to be super quick, you can actually email us at admissions@educate higher than underscore, it's called hyphen, I think, online.org. So here's the email, and would be delighted to talk to you further and to set up meetings face-to-face with Anastasia and our dear colleagues as well. And thank you so much to Stewart and to Jess, and thank you so much to our dear audience. I see we have quite a lot of people who joined us from India today. We are super excited about contributing further in India and beyond worldwide. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Alex and Anastasia. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Enjoy your week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.